What is up, NFL fans? It is your boy Kevin Phillip Fox here, out of focus as always, and I am here with the Legit Football NFL podcast. I am not alone, and as I get my camera situated, there it is. Oh, look at that. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not alone. I couldn't possibly do this zany, wacky podcast alone. We're talking about one of my favorite things today, but before we talk about my favorite things, I want to introduce you to some of my favorite people. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me as always from down under Europe, Mr. Adrian Ravito. Welcome in, Adrian.
It's still crazy to anyone who's sort of new to the show that Kevin thought Australia was in Europe.
I have my moments. I'm
not even convinced you don't believe it still.
I still to this day get tripped up on it sometimes. Like I have to remind myself that you're not European. It does.
We are our own continent. We're the only country that's our own continent.
Wow, you think you're so cool? You think you're so much better than us, bro? Because you're a country that's your own continent.
Because you're half a continent, North America. Please, no, I'm joking. Well, don't hate us. Alienate the entire audience.
I think it might be time for us to start the show. We have some cool stuff we're talking about. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, is that NFL Stats Jimmy Ray's music? Oh, look at that guy. Look at this handsome devil straight out of Indiana, watching his favorite team lose the NBA Finals one game at a time.
The drive-bys.
I'm super bitter. You guys know.
Kevin didn't know Indiana wasn't in Australia until
I thought Indiana was
in Australia.
What's up, Jimmy Ray? How are you, man?
What's up, man? Doing great. Ready to watch this game tonight.
You look beautiful as ever. You got a very nice pompadour on the hair today, looking like Elvis Presley in his prime. It's a beautiful thing.
That's what they call me.
That's accurate. Yeah, that's really accurate.
Yeah, it's a pompadour, bro. He's Jimmy Pompadour. And of course, we're not coming at you alone. I don't know how much of a high five or a hello or a welcome our producer Anthony Weiner wants to give, but Anthony Weiner is joining us as always. The absolute the producer with the most, Anthony Weiner is here, and that's why our show's running a little smoother these days. The ship's a little tighter. No offense, Adrian.
That's hard to say no offense to.
Ladies and gentlemen,
no offense, but you're a piece of dirt.
I was thinking more like garbage, but
yeah, I feel like because we can't swear on this. It's because we can't swear on this channel. Dirt's a little too
natural. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some legit headlines we want to roll through. For those of you who don't know, Legit Football. First of all, shame on you. Of the 100 viewers that we have right now, all 100 of you better be subscribed to Legit Football. It's a daily newsletter. You go to legitfootball.com. You sign up for free, and you receive a free daily newsletter 5 days a week with 6 of the smartest, best, well-thought-out, cohesive NFL headlines. And the fact that our fearless leaders, Joe and Brian, can scrape the off-season dog days of summer to find NFL stories to still talk about, and they're relevant too. It's awesome reading about them even in June. The fact that they still find stories to talk about at this time of year just goes to show you the dedication they have to the product.
Not today though. We've got news. We've got real news.
We got a couple real things to talk about, and we're going to start off with our legit headlines. So these are headlines from Legit Football. We're going to give you a little round robin style talking about the headlines. Starting off with Nick Chubb, former fantasy football RB1 and Cleveland Browns darling, signing with the Houston Texans. The Texans have officially signed running back Nick Chubb on a 1-year deal worth $2.5 million, potentially reaching $5 million with incentives. Chubb, coming off of limited 2024 production due to lingering injuries, will bring veteran power behind Joe Mixon in a deep Houston backfield. At age 29, he remains third in Browns history with 6,843 rushing yards, but staying healthy will be key to Chubb making a difference this season. And boys, if that hasn't been the story of Nick Chubb's recent career, Adrian, what do you make of this signing? Is this a nothing burger?
No, you know what? I don't think so. I mean, look, I'm super biased. People who watch this show know that I love Nick Chubb. Who doesn't love Nick Chubb, to be fair? But pre-injury, he was, undoubtedly the best pure runner. I'm not saying he caught out of the backfield or was the best running back in the league, but pure running, I believe he was the best in the league. And then he goes to Houston, which, to be fair, Joe Mixon, he went there from the Bengals. Everyone wasn't expecting much, and he kind of took that offense and elevated it. And when he was off the field, the Texans really struggled. So, you got to hope that Chubb's landed in a good spot, that he doesn't need to be a 3-down back. He doesn't have that durability. He's going into his age 30 season, which, as Brian McFadden would put it, it's the age 30 dead zone. It's where running backs go to die. But you hope he goes there, takes on less of a load, and he can just go in when he needs to and kind of provide a kick, and hopefully also be there if Mixon goes out, because Mixon's not young either. How old's Mixon? He'd be late 20s.
28.
28.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I don't know. I
NFL
didn't look
stats,
up.
man. He popped
I
off.
don't know
man.
if that's true.
I'm gonna
Misinformation being spread on the podcast, one Jimmy Ray tidbit at a time.
Oh, I was right.
28 years. 28 years is
For
Sniper.
another
correct.
month, he's 28. For another month.
American sniper.
So I like the move. I like the landing spot. I do not like how. I mean, he should have been a Brown for life. So I don't like that he's not there.
Yeah, it's a little icky seeing a player like Nick Chubb. That's kind of like one of those iconic, like number 24, just rumbling down the field, breaking tackles, running through people's faces. Kind of an iconic Nick Chubb thing. It's going to be weird. It's going to be kind of liminal. Seeing it's kind of like seeing Jordan in the Wizards or Diggs anywhere but Buffalo. It's just kind of like, what do we got here? What is this weird feeling that I feel this is not right? I think that's kind of what we're going to feel. I think Chubb's got something left in the tank. I don't know how much, but I think being a change of pace back is going to be really nice for him at this stage of his career. I think he was he's in the twilight. Let's just be real. As you brought up Brian McFadden's running back charts, do not offer Brian McFadden a running back over the age of 28. He's like Leonardo DiCaprio with chicks over the just don't even bark up that tree, because Brian McFadden, he'll pull out a chart. He's got him in his person at all times. He's got like a pointer that he pulls out and like points at all these numbers. Jimmy, convince me that I'm not crazy for thinking that Chubb to Houston has some relevance, or don't. Or tell
it's one of those things that's very low risk, but if the reward's there, if Nick Chubb plays if he has a game or two, which I don't think the Texans are expecting a lot out of Nick Chubb. 1 year, $5.5 million deal. Joe Mixon's obviously back. Yeah, Joe Mixon, he's gonna miss a couple games, and I think Nick Chubb, if you bring him in as that guy, I think there's a lot of faith that he can pull out a solid game here and there. Or just some solid plays here and there. But what do you have to lose as the Texans? This is a great backup. Nick Chubb gets the opportunity, but not the spotlight. It's a good little tail end of his career. We'll see what happens, but he's not like a fantasy flag plant, So
we got and you're teasing the theme of the show a little bit there. Go ahead, Abe.
I said we'll see who's planting their flag. You never know. I love me some. No, I'm joking. I'm not, but I do love him, and I hope he surprises everyone. It's just like, he's one of those players that's really easy to root for.
I completely agree. And in the spirit of today's episode, boys, maybe one of the three of us might have him in a couple Dino leagues. Is Nick Chubb a sell? Is he a hold? Is he a buy? Does this mean anything to you from a fantasy perspective? Does this hurt Joe Mixon?
I'd say no to all the above. I think you hold. I think because you don't know, you're not going to get much for him. Unless you're desperate and you're going to drop him either way. I would hold on to him because you never know. You never know if he's going to have, if Mixon gets injured and then you can slot him in as you need. I would hold.
I would be willing to bet my life that Nick Chubb will have a game this year where he goes 16 carries, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. That is the most Nick Chubb guaranteed. At age 29. Yeah. That's lock it up. Bet
you play solid and Joe Mixon misses the season for whatever reason. That's when you make the sell to a contender, but. Absolutely. There's no need to do that now for third or fourth
because who else does Houston even have but Dare Ogunbowale?
Cam Akers isn't on the team anymore. I don't
know. I don't mean to besmirch the great Dare Ogunbowale, but I don't.
Damian Pierce
is still kicking. He's still kicking. He used to be the dog.
Pierce in the
anyways, great discussion on Nick Chubb, guys. I think we can all agree this is great for the NFL. One of the all-time greats getting a little not victory lap, more so a super senior year of his career. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Aaron Rodgers will he, won't he saga is finally concluded. The Steelers have officially signed quarterback Aaron Rodgers, one of the GOATs, let's be real, to a 1-year, $13.65 million deal, and he'll be at mandatory minicamp next week. which I believe is this week. Correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Crazy.
I think he's throwing the ball. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rodgers
individual
cited
goals.
head coach Mike Tomlin as a major factor in his decision, calling Pittsburgh best for my soul. He's coming off a 3,897 yard, 28 touchdown season in New York despite injuries. Wow, did it not feel like it was that many yards and that many touchdowns with how poopy he looked via eye test, despite injuries, and will make his Steelers debut in Week 1, ironically, at MetLife Stadium against his former team. We're going to start with Jimmy on this one. Jimmy, break this down for me from every angle. I want to know, is this worth it for Pittsburgh? Worth it for Rodgers? Move the needle in fantasy. Move the needle for the team. Is this just another, again, super senior year of an NFL player's career that should have ended years ago?
I think from a Rodgers Steelers perspective, this probably happened a couple months ago, to be honest with you. I don't think there was any doubt this was going to happen. From a Rodgers perspective, you join a solid team with Mike Tomlin. I think we can all agree Mike Tomlin's one of the better coaches in the NFL. This cements the Steelers' 9-8 season, I think, at least again this year. And that's that's how I feel about this move. It's kind of the middle of the ground. I don't think in any form that the Steelers are going to be a whole lot better than what they have been. But is Aaron Rodgers a better quarterback than what they had last year? I think that's up for debate, which is not a good thing based off of the play they had last year, which was decent. But yeah, from a perspective of Aaron Rodgers, he just says he wants to do it for the love of the game, which is weird. I don't know if you guys saw that. He just he didn't say he wanted to go for 7 or whatever. He just I just signed for the love of the game. Football did so much for me. I was like, I get it. Just doesn't feel like the fire. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Jimmy, I think we're pretty in lockstep. I think the only thing I disagreed with out of everything you said, I think your analysis was spot on. I don't think this cements a 9-8 season for the Steelers.
Ooh,
I'm sorry. I could see them being a bottom dweller in the AFC North.
But that would ruin the streak.
I could see it happening. I know Roger. I just don't think he has anything left in the tank. And if he does, it's like you might be able to get to a gas station or you might be able to push it, but do you really want to risk it? That's how low the gas tank is for Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. I think this is okay for their receivers. I think their receivers, fantasy-wise, their running backs will tread water. I don't think this is going to explode. I don't think this is not George Pickens, DK Metcalf to the moon. But I think this is a lateral thing for DK Metcalf. I guess it's better than Mason Rudolph, if we're being completely blunt. But I don't know. Adrian, again, am I crazy? Am I wrong?
No, I think you're feeling what a lot of people are feeling. Like, it's kind of the polar opposite of what we were talking about with Chubb. Is Aaron Rodgers is such an easy dude to hate, and even as someone who I mean, I'll always love the guy. He always did so much for Green Bay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to stories like this and it comes to things like this, you're right, Jimmy. This was done months ago, and this is all just to skip the voluntary part. I'm convinced. He did it. He went off to Egypt last year with the Jets, and he just doesn't want to go anything voluntary. He's a vet and he wants to do things his way, and I get that. But before he even got there, I think it was I can't remember who it was. There's 2 or 3 players that were just openly saying you know what, you want to be a Steeler, but otherwise go away, go back. There was I can't remember who said go back to the retirement home. There's already a bit of drama floating around it. I don't know if he's going to do anything big. I think statistically he's a fine quarterback now. He's nothing elite like he used to be. He's going to have a better line than what he had at the Jets. So, you can't expect Aaron Rodgers to scramble like he used to. What is he turning 42? So, I think a 9-8 season makes perfect sense. But I do think they're in probably, arguably one of the hardest divisions in football, arguably top 2. And so I don't know how well he's going to go there. I feel like this is less meh to me because it was kind of like a foregone conclusion. Because the one thing that is correct is Mike Tomlin's a good coach. He doesn't wait around to see if Aaron Rodgers will join. Otherwise, we're rolling with Mason Rudolph. That streak of winning seasons matters to him. And so I can't imagine that's the way they were playing it. So it's kind of all right, he's finally here. I imagine he's going to go out with a mediocre blaze of glory and then be out of our lives next year.
Yeah, I'm personally yamming the under on their win total. I'm guessing it's 8.5.
I'm
That
gonna
that
check.
that feels like if it's 8.5, I'm yamming the under. I know it's like the dumbest bet ever to bet against Mike Tomlin having a winning season, but that's what I do. I make dumb bets. So I don't
Adrian's
know.
right.
But
It's a
he,
tough
he was a
division,
good.
so like I don't see them make the playoffs. It's hard to see them make the playoffs, and you have to win like
8 and
9,
9,
10
bro.
games to be. You have to win 10 games at least.
8 and 9 at best, I think. I think this screams 8 and 9. I was shocked
No
when I read his
playoffs.
stats. 3,828 for the way he looked on the field is crazy. I could not believe my eyes when I read that stat.
That's why you have to only look at the box scores.
Okay, Halliburton.
NFL stats.
The Steelers defense has to play lights out this year to even have a sniff of the division. I'm not sure. Maybe a sniff. Spelling much. Yeah, he's making fun of himself. Yeah, no, I think it's nothing burger. But not literally, right? Obviously, because he's a future Hall of Famer, and he's going to a team that continuously overperforms and makes the playoffs. So it's interesting. I mean, there's at least some interest, but
There's intrigue, but like, all right, over under 4.5 weeks until we hear him dropping snide remarks on McAfee show.
I'll take the over. I think he'll play nice with Tomlin until at least mid-season.
Under.
All right, do you remember that video of Tomlin? I might have been Hayward that he kind of celebrated after a win, and Tomlin was like, "Shut up, get in the locker room." Do you guys remember that video?
Yeah.
It was like it was funny because it's like, oh, that's Tomlin. You know, he's a no nonsense kind of guy. He's going to do that to Rodgers, and Rodgers is going to be like, oh, you know, how long until he's like, oh, you know, certain things shouldn't be said certain ways, and you know, people treat people certain ways that I just don't think is okay, and everyone is going to be connecting dots. It's But then, you know what? I say that Tomlin dealt with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. So
yeah, and even Ben. But I think Rodgers is a huge piss baby. Last question, rapid fire, no more than 5 seconds. Who's going out sadder, Rodgers or Danger Witch? Who's going out sadder?
Rodgers.
Danger Witch.
I'll break the tie. I'll say Danger Witch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have one last legit headline to get to. Pretty awesome. Well, for us, not for Adrian. One of the best corners in the league the last couple of years, Jaire Alexander, has officially been released. The Packers have moved on from Alexander after attempts to restructure or trade him have repeatedly fallen through. Injuries have limited him to just 14 games over the past 2 seasons, but he still showed elite coverage in 2024 with 2 picks and a 78.2 PFF grade across 7 games. The move clears over $17 million in cap for Green Bay, so maybe it is awesome for Adrian. At least 6 teams reportedly reached out immediately, with the Browns, Eagles, Rams, and Bengals among the early suitors. I know the Bills had trade talks with Jaire Alexander prior to him being released. Expect a 1-year incentive-based deal as teams weigh risk versus upside. I'll jump in here and I'll just say, like, Adrian, he's been one of the best corners in the league. There's got to be a feeling where there's got to be some pain that he's gone. But there is something exciting when a player who's still got some prime left hits the market. There's kind of this weird, like, oh, wow, this is later than, like, it's June. You know, you don't get all pros in June usually. So I think this is pretty exciting. Adrian, let's get it 1 to 10. Give me a sadness meter and how you feel about this.
6.
You're sad. 6 out of 10.
6 is sad. Yeah. You know what? Like, you know, all right. Jaire Alexander is like that crazy girl that you meet, and she's always too busy for you, and she isn't available, and you can never go. But then you get her out one night, and it's awesome, right? And that's Jaire Alexander, because he's just, you know, like a lot of players, availability is required to be elite, and he is an awesome corner, and they need corners. Like, they didn't really address it in the draft. They believe in the guys that got there, but Keyshawn Nixon, some critical problems in the playoffs last year, so that's questionable to keep him as, I think he's CB2 at the moment. Eric Stokes didn't pan out. I would have loved to see them go after Rasul Douglas and get him back, because he went to Buffalo and he was awesome. Anyway,
I love Rasul Douglas. Yeah.
Nonetheless, what I will miss is Jaire Alexander is an awesome Packer. He's an awesome player, and he's an awesome personality. Like, he's such a fun kind of athlete. His interviews are funny, and he's always trash talking. You know,
he's crazy. Remember
that game against Justin Jefferson? It might have been last year or the year before, and he absolutely shut him down, and he was just in his head the entire game. That's what you get when he's on the field. Unfortunately, I mean, what is it? Was it 14? Sorry, 7 games over 2 seasons. What was the
Yeah,
the
it
stat?
was.
Something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, and Goody said, Gutekunst said that exactly that. Oh, sorry, it might have been Mark Murphy. It's like he's a great player. He's done so much, but he just can't seem to stay on the field. And you can't pay a guy like that kind of money to stay on the field, to not stay on the field. Sorry.
Yeah, and I love the analogy of the crazy yet unavailable yet fun and exciting fling. Definitely feels like a fling now, and it's concluded. Are you going to see Jair Alexander mature and settle down with another guy and have that sadness and be like, "Oh man, why couldn't he have done that for me?" Or are you going to see him do that to the same next sucker, and are you going to be like, "Not my headache anymore"? What's it going to be? That's really
You know what? As long as, because he would be joining a long list of Packers, as long as he doesn't just go into the NFC North and blah, like, Darius
Just
Smith
ball
did
out
that,
for the
Aaron Jones
Vikings.
did that. Like as long as he doesn't do that, he can go anywhere else and I'll root for him. Like, he's, like I said, I like him. He's done nothing wrong to us. And it's not his, he did what he can. His conditioning, his workouts were all to try and stay on the field. He couldn't do it, and the Packers, that's the beauty of having an ownerless team, so to speak, is like there's no ego, there's no like this is my guy or I picked him. It's like business decisions. He's not on the field, he's not worth the money.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And Jimmy, what are your takeaways on the Jair Alexander cutting?
Adrian said everything.
Yeah, he clocked the
There's
T.
nothing to say. I mean, it was time to move on. He didn't play a lot. $17 million. That number is large.
Those are pivotal cap savings, and this late in the offseason for Green Bay to clear that kind of cap space, it could be time for some extensions. It could be take one more big swing at free agency. It could be a trade. It feels like, and I personally think this is not a bad time for the Packers to push the chips in. It's really not.
Well, Stephon Gilmore would be a good pickup if you ask me.
Yeah, and I like this. I like the Zool play. I love the Zool play, man.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Packers cornerback depth chart now on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you feel pretty bad about it?
It's got to be
no. Look, you know what? I don't know if they got. So obviously, I didn't really address it. They were. Can I tell you, with Joe, this is kind of a quiet thing. They were a top 10 passing defense last year, even with their current depth chart. Like I know they had Joe Alexander for some games, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. I feel like they've put the moves into the right place, and they're hoping to outscore a little bit more than shut out teams. So I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 6 is fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, looking at it, I'm just not inspiring a lot of confidence. Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon, Eric Stokes, Corey Ballantyne, Robert Rochelle. That's your top 5.
Corey Ballantyne's a baller. I really, really like him. I feel like he's going to be good this year. But I agree. Look, your teeth there. That is correct. That's the right way to approach it.
My confidence level would be a 3 or a 4 if I'm you.
And I don't love our secondary. I would be if they went and got Stephon Gilmore
or Zool. I'm gonna pound the table for Zool. Yeah, we got. What's your feelings on the Rams? Because they just cleared up 17 mil. Ramsey's gonna cost a pretty penny. He's got a big attitude. He's really kind of Alexander Light, and in my opinion, he hasn't looked great over the last couple seasons.
And I don't think he's been healthy over the last couple seasons, has he? So
burnt toast. That's what we call him in Buffalo. He's burnt toast.
So don't move on from Alexander to go. Yeah, he's Alexander Light.
It's totally lateral move. Good call.
Maybe
all right,
worse.
Fellas, unbelievable opening discussion on the show. I am just salivating at the idea of us talking about fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen, with our
You hit it
twice, 3 times. It hits 4 times.
It's on loop. It's for sure on loop.
It hits me right in.
I thought he was going to miss it, but he did not miss it.
Shout out to StreamYard for defaulting sounds to be on loop for some reason.
If you didn't hear the drop, it's our main topic time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about fantasy football today, and we're talking about our fantasy football flag plants. We have a different player for each position. We're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about where they're being drafted. Nice. The show just got exponentially cuter. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to start with Jimmy Ray. Give us your quarterback flag plant.
I have JJ McCarthy on here. I was looking at it so I didn't look at it from dynasty perspective. I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I was just looking at for next year. He's the
Yeah,
quarterback.
redraft. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, he's the ADB quarterback 20. I think he has potential to be a quarterback 1 this year, just based off of the team that he's on. I think this high upside for JJ McCarthy in terms of just a production, the team, the coach. I think there's a lot going right for him. Will he hit that? Who knows? But I think that's a good value at quarterback 20 if you see him up there.
Yeah, really not bad, and I think it's a great call. Quarterback 20, you said?
Yeah, quarterback 20.
Do you think he finishes inside the top 12 as a quarterback 1?
Yeah, I think that's my take here.
I like it.
I'm planting that flag. That's my.
But did you say he finishes QB1 overall?
No, a QB1. So maybe in the top 12.
A QB1.
All right, got it.
Sorry, top 12.
Let's colloquially get out ahead of this because Adrian might not be the only one who's confused. They do it weird in Europe. So if you're a top 12 running back, because there's presumably 12 teams, you're an RB1, which would mean you're one of the 12 best running backs. RB2 is 13 to 24. RB3 is 25 to 36, and you get the idea. So a QB1 as opposed to QB1. I like it. Adrian, quarterback, fantasy, flag plant.
All right. I am going to plant my flag this year in Michael Penix. We only got 3 games out of him last year. He averaged 250 yards a game, 4 TDs to 3 ints. He can run the ball. We know that. And dual threat quarterbacks are always good for fantasy. He's got the right pieces around him. He's got Bijan, who we kind of expect Bijan to be RB1 this year. He's got Drake London, who everyone is saying this is going to be his year. There was talk of trading Pitts. I'd kind of be comfortable with that because I'm sick of pretending he's a fantasy weapon. You've got Zach Robinson at OC. He's a Sean McVay disciple. Going on over here. Disciple. And he's currently ranked QB 24 overall. So I would say he could finish in the 12 to 14 range. And I will put a bold prediction here. You know, actually, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna do it on the fly. He's gonna finish higher than Jalen Hurts overall.
Oh,
bold prediction.
That's fun.
Wow.
Nice.
Even with the tush push.
I stand by it.
All right.
Yep.
I don't think I feel good about that, but I
put it on the board, Adrian. Put it on the board.
I respect you so much.
You know what? Put 20. That on my name. 20
USD.
All right. Can I tell you, because we made about 863 bets last year, we now have Anthony as a producer. He's going to need a spreadsheet for this. 20, you're on.
20, you're on.
Actually, it's a bold prediction. I should get better odds than 1-1, but I'll take it. 20.
You should get better odds than 1-1, but you already agreed. Next time, get a better lawyer. My fantasy flag plant will surely make one of the 3 of us smile, and it isn't me, and it isn't NFL stats. I'm planting my flag in Jordan Love, baby. QB 17. QB 17. Did y'all forget who you're dealing with? The Chicago Bears father? No, I'm just kidding. That's what he self-proclaimed father of the Chicago Bears. Father's Day's coming up. Get ready for a cringy Jordan Love post. I gotta give some love to Jordan Love, man. He's QB 17. I think he's due for a positive regression season. He was fighting off injuries last year, fighting off missed time, fighting off miscommunications with receivers, losing key receivers to injuries. He did. I'm not gonna lie to you, Adrian. He kind of cooked me in the fantasy playoffs. He kind of was the reason I lost couple G's. But we forget, man. Fantasy football. It's the results don't carry over. Jordan Love will be a QB1. Put it on the board. Fantasy flag plant.
I'm in on it, and I agree. Sir. I'm feeling good about this year.
He will be a QB1.
Yeah, quarterback.
All right. Battle. I will kick us off for running backs. And I got a fun one because I already besmirched the crap out of the team. And I'll do it again. I'll do it with my damn chest. But I think this player, where you can draft him at RB26, is an absolute steal. I think he projects to be the starter for his team, and I think he'll be a top 20 running back. I'm looking at Caleb Johnson in Pittsburgh. I've seen hyper-efficient running backs when they get more utilization. We know this story. It's the Tony Pollard story. It's a tale as old as time. You're a backup. You get a small amount of carries. You get thrusted into a bigger role. It doesn't really work out. I think that's what's going to happen with Jaylen Warren. I think Pittsburgh's going to realize keeping him in that smaller scat back ancillary role will be better for his production. And I think that means Caleb Johnson has a breakout season in his rookie year and finishes in the top 20, even though he's going at RB 26.
Love this take. Love this take. And I really hope you're right because I've drafted him in multiple leagues.
Yep. All right.
I wrote that in as well. I had him at running back 28. I said he would finish top 20.
Nice.
Because Najee Harris last year was the 20th running back, and I was like, that's doable. I mean, he's just sliding into that spot, so I could.
We're showing similar gall, Jimmy. You and I.
We always have the same goal, man.
All right,
All right, Aid, take it away with your running back flag plant.
All right, my running back is currently RB24, so very close to you guys. He is a running back who was touted as going to be the next big thing. He's gone to a team that I personally hate, and he doesn't get the benefit of, the O-line was a turnstile. And I'm talking about DeAndre Swift, right? So Caleb Williams gets this whole the O-line was, the problem, and he was always under pressure. Like the O-line also didn't open up run lanes. DeAndre Swift is not a bruiser. He can't just bash through contact over and over and over again. Now you get Ben Johnson there. He employs an outside run scheme that talks to his skill set. They went outside zone in fourth most in the league with the Lions. So you're going to get him with the new O-line. They didn't draft a running back to take over him, and he's currently RB24. Now, I think if you watch some of the tape, and I saw a few things about Swift, and look, I'll be honest with you, because I try and be objective, but it's really impossible to do that in the NFC North. And sometimes I'm like, whatever, Bears fans. But if you watch the tape, there's so many times where like the line gets absolutely swallowed, and Swift goes for negative yards, and it kind of looks bad on him, but that's not his skill set. So you get Ben Johnson in there. I think he's going to unlock a lot, including Swift. And I think RB24, I would put him, I'm going to say top 15.
And I got him currently at the RB28. So you're even going more bold of a prediction than, because I'm looking at Fantasy Pros current half PPR ADP, and DeAndre Swift is listed as RB28. So even more bold than originally thought. I love it. I completely agree.
Swift, yeah.
The O-line, the O-line is truly a lot better. That team will be better this year. I have my issues with Caleb, but
I know it's not like ignored, but it feels like QBs get the benefit of that. Whenever there's a bad O-line or a good O-line, QBs are kind of like, bad O-line, it's their fault. Good O-line, the QB is elite. Running backs don't get that, and a really good example of this is Ezekiel Elliott when Cowboys had like an amazing line, and he was just a mauler. So,
Yeah, completely agree.
How do we feel about Ben Johnson? Ben Johnson had DeAndre Swift at one point, right?
Yeah,
and
he did.
They kind of, I don't know if that's a good thing, bad thing, because they did kind of move on from him, obviously.
I mean, for Jahmyr Gibbs, so they saw the right.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a TBD, I think.
Yeah, it's just a fun narrative for Swift this season, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
I don't think you guys will like this, but it's a little bold take here. It's a guy's last name that Adrian always mispronounces. He hates him. It's a rookie. Ashton Jeanty, I think, will finish. I have him as running back 1 overall. So that's my take. That's my flag. Not a sleeper, not a running back 3 going to running back 2.
You know what?
But I'm gonna say running back 1. I feel like the team, there's potential there. There's some movement with the Raiders, but will it happen? I don't know. But I think he will get the attempts to make it happen.
I'm not mad at it because you're making a proclamation. You're saying RB1, which is a 75% increase on his ADP, which he's currently going as the RB4.
And you took my other guy.
Oh, did I take Caleb? It was Caleb Johnson. I apologize.
It's fine.
Great minds, brother. Similar golf.
The golf. Yeah.
We're golfing, bro. That was really bad. I apologize to our listeners and to all of
we just lost 50 followers
and family. I love it. Jimmy, why don't you kick us off so that you don't get poached on this one? Why don't you kick us off with your flag plant wide receiver?
All right. So this guy's an average ADP wide receiver 45. He had a wide receiver traded this offseason. He was shot in the chest. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, I think. And I have another wide receiver that I can throw out there too at some point. But the last couple of weeks last year, he was wide receiver 7, wide receiver 14. Obviously, he didn't get it doesn't matter what his wide receiver position was last year because he didn't play a lot. But I think he has the potential. I think this opportunity here. I think it's a solid team that could make a jump from where they were last year. I think he has wide receiver 2 potential.
And for those of you at home curious, Jimmy's talking about Ricky Pearsall.
Did I not say his name
You
at
did
all?
not say his name at all.
How many
were-
players got shot in the chest?
You were building a lot of
Did Brian
suspense.
Robinson? Where did he get shot?
He got stabbed, didn't he?
Oh, no, he did get shot. He did. They both got shot.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure they both got shot.
There's two. All right.
Really not good. Let's clean that up. I love it. He absolutely was in consideration, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I thought Adrian was going to pick him, so I left him off my.
I hope I
my
stole it
flag
from
plant
Adrian.
list.
I couldn't do it again. I already sold my pitch. Like I'm a believer in Pearsall, and if you're not, you're either a believer in Pearsall or you're wrong. There's only two.
I agree. I agree.
Write that
And
down.
he's a super popular, trendy. Like he's on the upswing. I think wide receiver 45 right now. If you're in a dynasty league, go get him before the price gets too hiked.
Agreed.
Yep. All right, Adrian, wide receiver flag plant.
All right, person I'm dropping for my wide receiver is going to make one of us sad, and it's not me and it's not Jimmy.
So it's going to be wide receiver 44, Stephon Diggs.
No, it is not.
Oh, okay.
No, it is not. It is going to be a disrespectful wide receiver 27, Xavier Worthy. And I say that because I know how much you hate the Chiefs, as we all do, I guess.
No.
But I will say, like, it even hurts me to say it out loud. But, like, look, Rashee Rice is back. He's going to take a lot of the defense's attention. And if he comes back in the form that he had before the injury, he averaged 13.8 points per game as a rookie. It's his second year in the offense. They've worked on their O-line to give Patrick Mahomes a little bit more time to throw, and he's your downfield threat. So I could see Kelsey regressing more. That leaves more receptions open to other players. He's ranked behind players like Cortland Sutton, Zay Flowers, Marvin Harrison Jr., which is fair. But I feel like he can outperform these guys. So I would expect he finishes. Okay, let's say top 15, which would be, and actually I can play the drop, but it's going to be terrifying.
You're not
That's
playing
it.
the drop? You're not playing the drop?
I'm looking for it, but talk
Hit
a
it.
while.
You know what?
No, no.
It is terrifying. And if that's the next Tyreek Hill, then we are screwed.
I am terrified.
That part. No, I don't hate the pick at all. I don't have the stones to click on him in drafts. I know he was a rookie, but he just didn't really wow me particularly at a lot of points, really until the playoffs. He did wow me in the playoffs. He was pretty spectacular in the playoffs. And down the stretch, but I just feel like, yeah, Rashee Rice is coming back. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for Worthy because I think
Is he coming back? He's not getting suspended, right?
I don't know. There hasn't been word on it yet, but he's for sure coming
guess
back from
probably
torn
not.
ACL. Rashee Rice is getting steamed up draft boards right now. People are expecting Rashee Rice to come back in full, and I just
So
Not-
wide
not
range
to-
there for sure.
not to be
Post ACL
disrespectful.
is scary.
I got a flag plant here, and it's one that, again, I hate that I have to be the one to do it. I hoped one of my legit football brethren would take this heat for me because I know I'm gonna
Don't do
have
it.
to. I'm gonna have to take some heat. I'm gonna have to do it. He's one of the most excellent slot wide receivers in the NFL. He is arguably the best run after the catch wide receiver in the NFL. And yet he's still going at the wide receiver 40. He's the number one passing weapon for the NFL MVP. Give me Khalil Shakir as my fantasy football flag plant all day. I don't see a world where Shakir finishes outside the top 28 and you're getting him at 40. Come on.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's Josh Allen's wide receiver one, ostensibly. I know he's a slot. I know Keon Coleman is getting some Joshua Palmer, Elijah Moore. There's all these. Yeah. I got Shakir's jersey. I got eyeballs. I watched that dude run around. He's gonna be a top 28 wide receiver, and you can get him at wide receiver 40. It's a no-brainer.
That is crazy to me that he's 40. I thought you were going Stephon Diggs, and I was like, don't do it.
There's no way.
Yeah, I
30
did. Well, that was
years old, off a torn ACL. When the last time we saw him, he was really not too special. And the last time we saw him, not on the field, he was giving out mysterious substances on a boat. I'm good.
It was just a drinking powder. He's fine.
Yeah.
It was Crystal
Vitamins.
Light, bro.
That's how you want your diva wide receiver one to play in the offseason.
It was pink lemonade, bro. You pour that in your Aquafina, bro. You got a little pink lemonade. All right. Let's clean it up. Ladies and gentlemen, tight end flag plant. Wow. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kick us off. And I got my Alka-Seltzer Plus. Plop, plop. Good. I'll at tight end 18. I'll take Kyle Pitts.
No.
Oh Lord.
No.
At tight end 18, okay, he's Kyle Pitts. Okay, I know. We've all heard the story. And the first year it was he's tight end 4. He'll be a tight end 1, just like Jimmy with Genty. Nope. Well, second year he's tight end. He's going as tight end 9. He'll finish in the top 4. Nope. Third year he's tight end 12. He'll finish inside the top 9 for sure. Nope. He's tight end 18. What are the chances he's outside the top 12? With Michael Penix in full tow? Come on.
I think
Right? Is this the tale as old as time? Am I just the idiot who's about to walk into the cave that you never come out of? Or am I cooking? Chat, did I cook? Let me know.
I am going
Cook
to
ramen.
Tight end 18.
that as a twice burnt by Pitts. I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna say no. And you know what? There may come a day where I'm wrong, but this ain't that day. You know what I'm saying? Like his Kyle Pitts is not an argument for why he will be good. It is an argument for why you shouldn't draft him.
All right, I'll pass it along. I'll pass it along.
I will say he holds one of my favorite stats. Year 1 touchdown. Year 2 touchdowns, and 3 and then 4. So this year, if he gets 5, that could
It's
be
a lock.
tight end 12,
It's a lock. Bet Kev's right.
maybe.
It's a lock.
So
He'll
just
be
think
a
about
top.
that.
He'll
Think
be a
about
top
that.
12
It's like
tight
the
end.
Steelers stat.
I'll bet rent.
How much?
This is so loud. So
I'm telling
viewers,
you my
turn
rent.
your volume
No, I'm
down.
just kidding. Okay, let's pass it along. We the shenanigans are taking over the show. Who's up?
You want to take it away, Jimmy?
Yeah, this is my homer pick. Tight end. Yeah. Tyler Warren.
I
Tight
love
end
it.
15 is what I saw it as.
I love
Why
it.
can't he be a tight end 1?
Totally can.
I mean, why
Should be.
can't he was a first round pick. The Colts, Daniel Jones is going to be great this year. He's going to
Totally.
throw the ball to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's going to be used.
Why the
a lot of
face, Adrian?
capacity.
Did he steal yours?
No. I'm okay with it. I don't know Daniel. You know my feelings on Daniel Jones.
What
Oh
are your
yeah,
feelings?
he's dog water.
But
Wish
Tyler
we could
Warren
swear
is
on this show
not.
sometimes.
Well, what did Theo Johnson do with Daniel Jones? What did Evan Ingram do before he got traded with Daniel Jones? You know what I mean?
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still here. Can you hear
Froze for a
us?
sec, but you're good.
Okay, cool. Tyler Warren.
Love it. Good pick. Aid, take it away.
All right, yeah, we probably should speed this up, eh? All right, I'm gonna go Brenton Strange, Jacksonville. Not really being talked about.
That's a plan.
Yeah, look, Evan Ingram's gone. He is the tight end 1 by a good margin. Liam Cohen, he led. So Kate Otten under Liam Cohen led the top tight ends in 93% snap share. That's second in route participation of 85%. He didn't need to block exuberantly. He was productive. I feel like Kate Otten probably didn't get enough love. He was a bit of a hype bunny at one point, but I feel like Brenton Strange might take that step this year. He can take a contested catch, and that's good because he's not that fast. But I do think you're going to have defenses absolutely scrambling to keep BTJ and Travis Hunter down, and it's going to leave spots open over the middle in Brenton Strange. So I'm putting
what
in.
was
I
his
feel like
ADP?
he's not being talked enough. You know what? I don't know. Let me look it up.
It's probably fairly low for
Well,
what
I think he's
it's
like
worth.
tight
It's a good pick.
end 21 I got
Yeah,
on Brenton
like that.
Strange. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a pretty phenomenal positional flag plant list. We now each have a deep flag plant. So each of us are going to give a sleeper flag plant, somebody who's being drafted truly in the basement, and we're going to give a case as to why they can have a way better fantasy season than they're being drafted to have. And this is a great place for lightning round sleepers. Before we give our official number 1 fantasy football flag plant, which is like the one we're the most confident in. I don't know if repeats are allowed. That wasn't really discussed. We'll see. Jimmy, do you have a deep, I'm talking Justin Herbert, deep flag plant?
I have. It's actually should have been in the recent news. It's a running back. Are we doing all? We're just doing any position, right?
Any position for deep. It's just
Yeah.
deep.
J.K. Dobbins. I feel like that was a good spot for him. We've been waiting for him to get signed. Obviously, people are excited about R.J. Harvey, but and he's a little older, so maybe R.J. Harvey can come and produce. But J.K. Dobbins did great last year, and it's a shame that it took him so long to find a little home. So I think this opportunity here, I think it's a good team. J.K. Dobbins, get him some tuds, make it happen. RB 48, but it's probably only going to go up. You just got signed, so running back 40. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's a good depth piece. If you're on fantasy and I have a J.K. Dobbins, I'm a little excited.
And how nervous would you be if you were an RJ Harvey buyer, believer, owner? What's
For
the
just
temperature
this year,
there?
I would be a little nervous. A little
Adrian?
bit.
I don't think I think Harvey is going to be the centerpiece. But I agree. Like as a depth piece, Dobbins is great. I've got a league where I've got Dobbins. Actually, it might even be a legit league. I've got Dobbins and Nick Chubb, and this was just a fantastic week for me. So yeah,
awesome.
I think look, he stayed healthy with the Chargers despite these previous, stayed healthy-ish compared to his previous seasons. But he's got the skill, he just doesn't have the durability. So you get him in, he's not the centerpiece, he's not the workhorse. I think he's going to provide some value, and I think you'll get those games where he'll, pop off into double-digit fantasy points, no problems.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Adrian, who's your deep fantasy football flag?
Mine's super deep.
You already gave us Brenton Strange. I think you're in the clear.
This is okay.
This is for
Let me tell you how
appearances.
deep this is. This is wide receiver 107 on fantasy points.
I love it.
All right. This is deep. So, sorry, the way I approach this exercise is who is someone way off in the distance. You might not, in a 4-round rookie draft, you might not even need to pick him up. He might go undrafted. But you'll get him in the 4th round for sure. Torrey Horton out of Seattle. He is currently wide receiver 3. Now, we spoke about in the Legit newsletter that JSN is going to be starting to line up out wide a little bit more. But realistically, him and Cooper Kupp, they're slot machines. This guy is the true deep threat on the team. He is wide receiver 3 currently. That's on their depth chart. He runs a 4.41 40 time. He's had 2 1,100-yard seasons with Colorado. He's got Sam Darnold, who just quietly had the best deep completion rate last year in the NFL. His primary competition is MVS, who, aside from a couple playoff games for the Chiefs, is just he's not a reliable deep threat. He does not have good hands. He just shows up when it's time to win.
That was for MVS. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. But Torrey Horton does not, reverse that. Whatever that sound is backwards, that's Torrey Horton, and he's my deep flag plan.
Yeah.
Just get him now. All I'm saying to people is get him now. He might not be a real fantasy asset till next year, but he's absolutely going to put some points up.
Yeah, and I was scrolling down Fantasy Pros. Once you get around overall 160, 170 guys, it starts to get cobwebs. It starts to be real sketchy. There's people
Tony
pushing
Brown's
shopping carts. Yeah, it gets real. Yeah. It gets real dicey. So I'll do one with my chest to be brave. Wide receiver 67, and I'll do it again to make one of us very happy. Not Jimmy, not me, Adrian. And I'm talking about somehow, some way, wide receiver 67, Romeo Doubs, who is fantasy relevant every year. He's fantasy relevant every year.
Adrian doesn't look happy.
Me.
He doesn't
No. Agreeance.
Him and Jordan Love have incredible chemistry. Christian Watson is very likely out at least a big chunk of the year. Probably going to miss the whole year, or.
Yeah, likely. If nothing else, late in the year, he might come back. But at this stage, 2025 is out.
Last time I checked, Dontavian Wicks can't catch a cold. I like Bo Melton quite a bit, but I don't know if he's going to get steamed up enough. Jaden Reed's still there. They drafted a guy. Romeo Doubs and Jordan Love are like peanut butter and jelly. They're like ham sandwiches and classic Lay's. They're like chips and salsa. I really am confident that Romeo Doubs, obviously he'll outperform wide receiver 67. I could see in a really realistic scenario, he could get up into the wide receiver 3-4 fringe territory, the fringe. You could weekly flex this guy. So give me Doubs all day.
Yeah, this is a good one because if you get him in the right game, he's guaranteed to have a game where he pops off 2 touchdowns. That will happen, and it has happened, guaranteed. So you can bet Kev's around on that. So if you get him in the right week, good call.
Yep.
I'm not brave enough to pick any Packers wide receiver, if we're being honest.
I get it.
It's understandable.
Just because you don't know which one's going to pop off.
This is a perfect place for us to throw our rapid fire sleepers in there just for funsies. So I'll throw a couple names out there. Keenan Allen's going at 169 overall, wide receiver 69, a very nice location for Keenan Allen. He's going to get signed, and he's going to get targets. 100%.
Yeah, probably.
He's not on a team right now, but he's going at the wide receiver
I
69.
guess him during like the Steelers.
As you both know, I just emptied the clip with Fab to get him in a league. I bid against my freaking self. I bid $7 against nobody because I saw him get dropped, and I said he's still Keenan Allen. He was excellent last year in Chicago. He was excellent for fantasy. He won people weeks. Especially on Thanksgiving. Let's see how far I have to scroll to find Elijah Moore. Wide receiver 93.
Oh.
He's going to make the team. He has a contract that makes it very difficult for the Bills to cut Elijah Moore. He's got chemistry with Josh Allen. He's an excellent player. He's going to have to usurp Josh Palmer and Keon Coleman to get the looks, but he's Elijah Moore. He produces with good quarterback play. He had the best year of his career last year. Any other? Oh, do you guys thoughts?
I'll allow it. And you're right. Like he's one of those ones that kind of doesn't. I'll allow it. Like I'm the judge.
Yeah, you are.
He's one of those ones that like you know his name is normally mentioned in negatives, but you're right. You give him a good quarterback and he can absolutely produce. What's your rank that wide receiver? What?
Wide receiver 93.
Ah, yeah, you'd be good for that.
Yeah, totally. Any other sleepers you guys want to throw out before we get into our official stab that flag like Baker Mayfield at midfield in Oklahoma flag plant pick?
Tucker Kraft made me happy last year.
Yeah,
as a tight end. So
yeah,
tight end 11. That's a little. Never mind.
Tight end, you think that's too rich?
Maybe a little. I don't know. It's around that spot. It's fine.
So wait, who is that? Did you say Tucker Kraft?
Yeah, Tucker.
And you think wide receiver 11, tight end 11 is too low?
No.
Too high. Sorry, too high.
Too high.
Yeah, see, that is blasphemy. Did he finish tight end 4 last year?
I don't remember. He made me happy last year.
He's good. I like Tucker Kraft.
I hate tight ends as a whole, I think.
I almost want to pivot and make him my guy, but I'm not gonna. But I went after him in a couple of leagues actually because I feel like this is gonna be his year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tight ends.
I like Kraft. I think he's appropriately rated at tight end 11, respectfully.
Yeah.
To both of you.
20?
You get dart throw at a Cowboys running back.
20? Okay, what's the 20? Do you
over
want
over under 10.5. Tight end 10.5.
I'm not doing that.
Come on, you got Jalen Hurts.
That would mean that he'd have to. Yeah, but I'm smart. No, I'm not. We all know I make
better
that
lawyer.
all the time.
Better lawyer.
But, all right, I'll go 7.5. I'll take the over on 7.5.
8.5.
I'll do it. You were flexible with me with Hurts. I'm flexible with you.
Done.
20. All right, Anthony. I don't know what we were getting at there, but all
That
right.
made me nervous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Ray's going to lead us off.
We cannot hear you, Kevin. We cannot hear you.
Jimmy Ray,
Yeah.
who is your official 2025 fantasy football flag plant sponsored by Legit Football?
Should I do? I guess I'll do a new one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to as well.
Yeah, I'll do a new one. So this guy is really the only wide receiver on his team. He was traded for, signed a very big contract. He was produced very well at the beginning of his career. Past couple seasons didn't meet the expectations on his team, but he's found a new team. Just got a new quarterback. The team might not be good, but I think he'll be targeted a bunch. He has a lot of athleticism. I have DK Metcalf finishing as a wide receiver 1. So
Yeah,
right now his
I like that.
ADP's 24. I like it. Why not?
That's quite the flag. I like it as well.
Yeah, I think the Steelers could pick up like a Keenan Allen and stuff though, which makes me a little bit. Is that going to change how much? But I think Aaron Rodgers has what it takes to hold a wide receiver 1. He's done it every year almost. I feel like.
I love it, bro. I love it.
I'm
He's a great
comfortable with
player. He's a fun player to watch. I think the Rodgers signing, I think it lowers Metcalf's upside, but I think it stabilizes Metcalf's floor.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean they didn't have the Steelers. That was their best option.
For sure. Yeah,
But
I get it. But I mean,
just
you know what their best
interesting trade
option
pickings
was? Lose more freaking games.
Whoa. Mason
Whoa.
Rudolph.
Lose more freaking games and go get a real quarterback, man. They keep
We
kicking
bet
the can.
the wins.
They're in the most purgatory situation I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen a team in worse
Right.
The Saints would like a chat.
That I think they could be bad.
Yeah,
I
the
think
Saints
they'll
are
be
just bad.
this year.
Up
I think
until
they
now, the
finally
Saints
did
would
it.
like a chat.
I
What,
think they're going to be bad this year.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
this,
I
I mean,
think
look,
Yeah.
this year I agree, but up until this year, they were in purgatory.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
would say.
They were. Yeah, I think. Yeah, but yeah, if the Colts were in the Steelers' position, I would probably be upset. They have been,
Yeah.
actually, every year.
All right. So, Adrian, who's your official 2025 flag plant?
All right, this is not a homer, but it's kind of a homer, and that'll make sense in a second. This player, technique-wise, this guy is like, he is the route technician. He's the guy that when someone talks about watching routes, he is the player that they watch. He is better than Cooper Kupp. Even when he was in his prime, the Triple Crown, yeah, from a route perspective, he is, to me, number one in the NFL. He put up good numbers with a quarterback we were just talking about on a fading Jets team, and I'm talking about Davante Adams, of course, because So here's what I think, right? Davante Adams, his slot usage in 2024 exploded. 46.5% out of the slot. That is by far, by a lot, his personal best. I don't know if you're going to call it, but that is the most he's been used in the slot. Now, Sean McVay has signed him to a 2-year deal, 46 mil. McVay and Mike LaFleur have both been talking him up in press conferences. There's videos of them in their film room bringing up his plays for the team. He's already built great chemistry with Matt Stafford, even though they've played against each other, obviously, when he was on the Lions and the Packers. But currently he's wide receiver 18. I would realistically, I could see him going in the top 10, but I'm not saying he's going to get there. I'm just with my chest. This guy's your wide receiver 2. If you've got Davante Adams, he's your number 2, and I feel like I really do believe that.
You got to go top 10.
Yeah, I'll put top 10 for the flag plant. I'm going to say top 10. I guess my point that I was saying is Davante Adams is one of those guys you could arguably say his best days are behind him, and they are. But
Sure.
That this move doesn't matter. There was plenty of games where he was not going well in the Jets. He was traded mid-season. I just think you get him here with Sean McVay. You got Puka Nacua, who demands so much attention. This guy is just going to be absolutely overutilized. And Matt Stafford, you give Matt Stafford time, he'll carve anyone up. And Davante Adams is always where he's meant to be. Like Matt Stafford could no look throw, and he knows that Adams is going to be where he's got to be.
I love it, man. I think it's a great pick.
I like it.
How many? Do you guys remember how many Alka-Seltzer Plus tablets I put in my drink for
2.
Pitts? Was it 2? Okay, so for this drink, did I use 2 before? Plop,
7.
plop, 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 plop.
9 or 11? I don't know.
I'm sweating thinking about actually tying my name to this player, especially in a segment and on an episode that I hold so near and dear to my heart every year. But I think what scares us is where we need to run to.
Amen.
RB37, cast aside, truly on the island of misfit toys. In my opinion, he's got a prove it year downloading, and the buffering speed is slow, and there's a rookie running back coming in who everybody's afraid of. But ladies and gentlemen, scared money don't make money. Travis Etienne is going to finish inside the top 24 running backs, which would give you over a 33% return on investment.
Give us RB1. Give us RB1.
I can't give you RB1.
Give it. Give top 15. Give it.
I'll give you 20. I'll give you 20.
Top 20?
17.
20. I'm stopping.
Come on.
Oh, Bayshell Tootin. Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen loves ETN, bro. Come on, man. Duval. I'm riding, and I will say I'll give you my other name that I would have felt a lot more confident about, but it's less scary, so I don't want to do it. I think Justin Fields is going to have a phenomenal year for the Jets. I could absolutely see
I like that.
Justin Fields being a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Change it to that.
Scared money don't make money. Producer flag plant. You know, one thing about Anthony, I absolutely love Anthony. He's very safe with his flag plants. A couple years ago, he told me, buy Christian McCaffrey, buy Justin Jefferson. You won't regret it. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's the RB3. Anthony says Jahmyr Gibbs is his flag plant. He kind of like Jimmy picking Genty. I don't judge.
I mean, he's probably saying he's going to be running back 1, but
It's got to,
what is he, like
the flag
ADP
plant has to
3?
be overall.
He's got to be
RB1.
1. Yeah, he's going like 4th. But you know what? I love it. It's still a good pick. It's still a good pick because Jahmyr Gibbs is that dude. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Any honorable mentions, guys? Any names you want to throw out there before we wrap this sucker up?
Jameson Williams.
Love it.
No.
Love
Okay.
it.
Were you on the show? We talked about Jameson Williams recently, and it's just like every year is the Jameson Williams year. Like when it happens, talk to me.
It's gonna
Miss
happen.
me with the
Last year was
Jameson
fun.
Williams takes for now. Sorry, Anthony.
He was a wide receiver too last year.
I'll give you some names. Tyrone Tracy being completely left for dead because of Scattaboo. Tracy's
raise-
good.
I raise
Good
you
freaking
Scattaboo.
player.
Yeah, I'll raise you a
But
Scattaboo.
that, yeah. Oh, okay. I don't. So who finishes higher, Scattaboo or Tracy?
I'll take Tracy.
I'll take Scattaboo.
20.
Yeah, that's how I pronounce it, but I don't know what the proper one is.
I don't know
All
either.
right,
I'm
my 20 to 10 each from y'all.
Scattyboo.
I got Tracy. All right, ladies
20
and gentlemen.
Scatta
What?
scatta.
Just said 20 to 10. DJ Moore is my only honorable mention.
Gotta throw
Scattaboo,
love
sir.
in. Gotta throw love in. And we've talked about some guys before. If you haven't watched our last fantasy football episode, go watch our last fantasy football episode. There might be some NFL chatter brewing with minicamp concluding and things happening around the league. We might actually be able to talk about some real football next episode. But in the meantime, Himburglar, Jimmy Ray, anything you want to say to the good people?
Pacers in 6. Let's go.
Hey, man, respect, bro. Respect. Good luck. Hallie hits big shots. I gotta give him credit where it's due. He hits big shots. He disappears
Venmo
for
in the comments for
three and a
game
half
4.
quarters, but yeah, and please let us know your
me money.
fantasy sleepers in the comments. PK Martini, Titan Maximum, 516 people watching. Adrian Revito, anything you want to say to the good people before signing off?
Pacers in 12. I don't know. I don't watch basketball. No, but
Whoa.
I do understand what the Pacers is 16. That's I'm just.
Well,
being
you
an idiot,
see, I do think Tyrese Halliburton's generally a better, more likable
but
guy.
that is an English accent you're
I
doing.
do
I'm not part
think-
of Europe.
I'm not part of Europe.
What's happening?
Great.
Right now?
So the handsome and fresh
Knicks in
haircut.
6? No. Oh,
The-
sorry. They're out.
Long,
This is
long,
legit football
long,
after hours
we're long
right now.
past that. Adrian Revito is beautiful,
Legit basketball.
handsome
Legit
face,
after
and
dark.
fresh fade. The flow was short-lived, but it burned bright. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin Phillip Fox, reminding you to choose love. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Legit Football NFL podcast, and we